Hey, this is Josh, Mass Gunworks. I had a viewer contact me, Mr. Mike Fuller, and sent me a 22 he wanted me to work on for him. I got it chucked up here in my lathe, and I'll show you the problem and then talk through the fix. And hopefully I'll be able to film some of the work. So no promises, but here we go. So I'm gonna pause, flip the camera around and film my phone and go through some of the problems we had. Okay, this is a receiver from a Remington 550. It's a semi-automatic 22 LR. This is the end cap right here that retains the bolt and spring and all that. So that goes in that hole right there, and it's a little difficult to see if the camera will focus, but those threads are stripped. This is a very odd size of thread pitch. Over here is the math that we did. So I was hoping it was going to be a 3/4 by 20. It's not. Our outside diameter over the top of the threads is 774. So we're about 20 thousandths over what 3/4 inch thread pitch would be by 20 TPI. So basically what we did is we took 1 inch divided by 20. Each thread is about 50 thousandths deep. So then I subtracted 50 thousandths from 774. That gives me 7724. And we're going to make a sleeve. The outside diameter is going to be between 800 and 850 thousandths, which means I'm going to have to bore this out to that. Yep, just barely going to have enough. And then we're going to go in and cut threads on that sleeve that are this 774 by 20. And this is the formula that you would use to figure out the minor diameter of your female thread or the major diameter of your male thread. If I was figuring major diameter of, well, no, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It's minor diameter of female thread and male thread. So if I'm making a female part that would receive this, I would need to go the OD minus 50 thou, so I got enough meat to cut my thread. If I'm making the male part, then I just go down to my diameter and I advance in, a total of 50 thousandths over the course of the cut. So there's a guy named Joe Pye. He's a machinist, Austin, Texas. Very good teacher, and he will do a much better job explaining the nuts and bolts of how this works than I will. So what we're going to do here is take the boring bar, bore this out until it is the proper inside diameter for the sleeve. Take this out, make a sleeve, press it in there, and then I'll have to go through the process of fitting this all together. So it's gonna be fun. Go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna turn the camera off here and take a pass, and then if I feel safe doing a couple passes holding the phone while I'm running the machine, go ahead and do that. I've got a dial indicator here set to stop where it needs to at my depth, This was a little tricky to set up in the lathe, so you notice this is not a round part. So what I did is I indicated off this flat and off this flat. That gave me two sides. And then I ran my live center in here, and I got it in there as close as I could to where there wasn't anything touching, but it was, you know, pretty tight. And I just kind of visually got the top section here and the bottom concentric, and then went ahead and double checked my sides with the dial indicator. Probably not the right way to do it. Somebody's probably going to yell at me. This is what I did. Right now it's working. So, and you know, if all else fails, I can probably find another one of these receivers for a lot less than it would normally take me to do this machining. But trying to keep this guy's gun as original as possible, because that's what he wants, and that's what we're going to do. Here we go. Okay, so got a set of Minatoyo calipers here. We're at, say, around 827 on our inside diameter. Our sidewall thickness is about 65 thou. So you can see we're getting kind of thinned out. I think that's about where I'm going to stop for right now. My sleeve made, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're transitioning into making our sleeve. I got a piece 1.25 inches chucked up there. I've drilled it out with a 5/8 drill. Now I'm going to use my small boring bar there to get to my final inside diameter of 724. So get my close enoughs here. Right now we are at about 620. So I need to take another 104 thousandths. So here we go. Okay, so we're to the internal threading part. So I've got my thread boring bar here apart. Got my dial indicator set up at my depth. Internal threading into a blind hole is kind of a stressful thing for me, so I'm not going to have this set at the depth to cut, but basically I'll show you what I'm doing here. So I wait for my number right there, come over here, 1 thou, 2, 3, 4, and then I shut it off when I get somewhere between 445 and 450. Back it out, and we just keep going like that until we got our depth. So right now I'm going to stop and I'm going to do a check because I know I'm getting close. probably not there, but you know, just being overly cautious because that's what I do. Put that in, getting thread engagement, about 1 full turn. It's not quite there yet. So I'm guessing I probably got 20 thousandths left to go. So just want to give you a quick preview of that and show you how it worked. And after I get it to fit, I'll show you how it goes in there. Okay, so we did our last fitment pass and cleanup passes. I ended up having to go about 16 thousandths deeper than I thought, but this formula definitely got me in the ballpark, and I just fit it in from there. So you can see it's going in, there's not a lot of wiggle. It's what we want. And I'll be able to machine this piece down to the diameter I need, and then hopefully press it into part without a whole lot of compression on the thread side. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, just want to give you guys an update here real quick. So we're all done with the machine work. We've got our sleeve. It's not quite a press fit. I'm glad I didn't do a press fit because the sidewall is kind of thin, and if I'd have done a full-on press fit, probably would have squished it just enough that it would have interfered with the fitment of my thread. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as I find some acetone, we'll take this MAP gas right here and the silver solder paste. This is Black Swan 95.5 solder and flux paste. I think I got this off of eBay. You can also get it on McMaster's car, a couple other places. It's a little hard to find. But anyway, you schmutz it up with Q-tip after you acetone it to clean it, and then you put the parts together, heat it. This is solder and flux mixed together. When it reaches melting temp, it just all flows in, and then this part will be silver soldered in here. The reason I'm doing that is because you'll notice right here, I'm going to have to cut that out for relief. That way the rest of the internal parts fit in there, because if you'll notice, let me get this back out, when they made this receiver, this is an incomplete thread right here. So I've got to have enough room for clearance for my parts to get in and out. So something to think of. Anyway, I'm going to have to pick this up another day and continue it on, but I will make sure that I capture all the video to share with you guys. So Mr. Fuller, appreciate you giving me your firearm and trusting me to be the one to fix this, so I could share it with the rest of the YouTube fam here. So hope you guys have a good day.